Let's talk a bit more about Drizzle. Drizzle is a TypeScript ORM that lets you manage your database. It gives you tools for migrating your database, for inspecting your database, and also querying your database. Now that we have a database, let's actually use Drizzle to explore it. If we look inside our package.json, we'll see several scripts here prefixed with db. The one we're going to start with is db studio. We can run this by running pnpm db studio. And it says now Drizzle Studio is up and running on local drizzle.studio. If I go here, we can see a relatively blank setup here. I'm especially intrigued by it saying 0 tables in public schema. This is because, well, we haven't created any tables yet. We've created our database, but there's nothing in there. To change this, I'm going to run pnpm db push. This reads from a file called drizzle.config.ts. Inside drizzle.config.ts, we can see that there's a schema file at source server db schema. The dialect is Postgres, and the database credentials are the URL, which is the env database URL. Inside the schema.ts file, we can see there are multiple tables here, created via the createTable function. We already have users. Here we have users relations, so users can have accounts. As we go further down, we can see that there are accounts relations, there are user sessions, and heading further down, we've got session relations, verification tokens, and a bunch of types down here under the DB namespace. I'm going to spare you the details with all of this, but really this interfaces with our authentication system. This means we have the ability to save users in our database, as well as track their authentication sessions in our database too. We can see that it pulled the schema from the database and then applied a bunch of changes. And if we go back to the studio, we can see now there are a bunch of tables here. Account, session, user, and verification token. There are currently no rows in any of these tables because, well, we haven't really used our app yet. When we set up authentication, we'll come back here and see what's been added. But the two main takeaways I want you to draw from this are that we can use db studio here to inspect our database and db push in order to make our database reflect our schema. The flow here is going to be make changes to the schema, then run db push in order to see those changes in the database. So there we go. We now have the tools we need to observe our database and make any necessary changes to it. That's what Drizzle does, and it's pretty good at it. I will see you in the next one.